Submetering companies really came into play a few years ago when we started receiving complaints. There's been, just in the past, comparing this year to last year, over a 32% increase in complaints. So as the complaints started coming in, we started to glean the type of activity and a pattern of complaints that consumers were experiencing with submetering companies. The number of submetering companies that are headquartered here and doing business, those really are represented here in Central Ohio. The utility costs are so high. Individuals may be paying more in utility costs than their actual rent. In some cases, they weren't aware of some of the fees that were involved. If the fees were much higher and they weren't able to pay them, then that domino effect starts happening, and they end up being evicted or sent to collection, that type of thing.
Me and my boyfriend moved in May of this year, and we had to sign up with their electric companies, their water, and AT&T, and we did not have a choice in that. Every other place that I've lived for the past 4 years in Columbus, I could choose my electric and internet and my water. And we did not have the option to use AEP, which is the source of the electric in most of Central Ohio. So it's been from $80 a month or $50 a month to $160 a month when I moved here. So the last 4 years I've never paid over $80, and the first month we paid $155.
We're getting charged about 14.9 cents a kilowatt hour every month on our bill. We're seeing about $150 to $200 electric bills on a 2-bedroom apartment. The company, American Power and Light's not willing to cooperate with us at all. They've basically been telling us that, if there's anything we want to do about it, we have to take them to court. At this point, this company's able just basically to do whatever they want. They can make their own prices up. I would recommend to Ohio lawmakers to get some sort of regulation on them. I think it's bad for Ohio. It's bad for the economy. It's going to be driving a lot of people out. And unfortunately, it's bad for business. I mean, especially at this complex, people aren't going to be willing to come to ardent communities and have to suffer with American Power and Light.
Ohio statute under the Landlord-Tenant Act very clearly defines what a landlord is, and that does not include an electric submetering company or anyone who just provides service to the apartment. So the tenants are seeing late fees on their bills that they wouldn't necessarily have if they were getting their electricity through a company regulated by the PUCO, which is the Public Utilities of Ohio. They're including court costs and attorney's fees in the billing that I see if they're filing evictions, even before they are filing evictions. And so what tends to happen is tenants get behind and the bill keeps getting higher and higher and higher, and so they are more and more behind. If you're a tenant renting housing, your electric submetering company does not fit the definition of landlord, and they should not be able to threaten you with taking away your housing because you got behind in payments. What they can do is try to collect from you and go through the collection process, which is also subject to the Consumer Sales Practices Act under Ohio. They can't get away from having to do that by somehow using eviction and scaring the tenants and making them feel like they're going to lose their housing to get them to pay. And so I think the most important thing tenants need to do is either call the Legal Aid Society if you're in this situation, or seek legal counsel if that's what you need, if indeed the electric submetering company is threatening to evict you for non-payment.